Hi everyone! In today's math tutorial video, we are going to be discussing how to find the percent, base, or amount in percentage problems. We will go over examples of each missing value and how to determine which value is missing, and then how to solve for that missing value. Let's begin. To find any missing value, we will begin with the same basic formula, and it looks like this. Is over of equals percent over 100. It's important to recall that fractions are part-whole relationships, and the numerator, or the is, will be our part, and the denominator, or the of, will be our whole. So when we look at any problem, we will fill in the blanks with what we know, and we should always be left with one blank that we don't know, and that will be the missing value that we are solving for. Let's walk through an example together. What percent of 20 is 3? Let's bring in our formula we previously talked about. Is over of equals percent over 100. Now let's fill in the blanks. I'm going to begin reading the problem again out loud and slowly and catching every blank I find to fill in. So let's begin. What percent? So I can stop there because I found the word percent in the problem, and right away I can see that there's not a number that goes with the percent. It just says what percent. So anytime I see a what with one of my keywords, I'm going to know that that's my missing value, and I'm going to write it in X for now to remind myself that's the missing value. So I'm going to have X over 100. What percent of 20? So I hear my of, which is my keyword for my denominator, and the number 20. So the 20 is going to go in the of blank of the formula. And now I have what percent of 20 is 3. So there's my keyword is, and there's a 3 right next to it, so the 3 is going to go in the is blank of the formula. So here's what our filled in the blank equation looks like. 3 over 20 equals X over 100. Now I'm going to use an X for the missing value, but if you'd rather use a question mark or another variable like a P or a Y, feel free to use whatever you're comfortable with. So the next step after we set up our equation is going to be to cross multiply. And by this, I mean we are going to multiply the two known values that are across from each other diagonally. In this case, my 3 and 100 are the only two numbers that are diagonal from each other that we know both of. So 3 times 100 equals 300. Next, after I've multiplied my two known diagonal values, I'm going to divide by the last known value I haven't touched yet. So I've multiplied my 3 and 100, so the 20 is all I have left to divide by. So 300 divided by 20 equals 15. Now this is the important part. I need to recall back to when I first started working my problem and decide whether I was looking for a whole number, which would be my is or my of blank, or a percent, which would be my percent blank. In this case, we were looking for what percent, and the blank was in my percent value. So my final answer is not going to be 15, but 15%. Let's try another example where we're looking for a whole number and not a percent. 80% of what number is 16? Let's set up our formula. Is over of equals percent over 100. Now let's fill in the blanks. Well, I'm going to read through the problem slowly and out loud and pull out all of my keywords and my numbers. 80%. So I can stop right there. This time I got lucky and there is a percent sign right next to the number, so I know that 80 is going to go in my percent blank. So I'm going to have 80 over 100. 80% of what number? So there's my keyword of, but instead of next to it there being a number, I just get the phrase what number. So that's going to be my blank, my X, what I'm looking for. So in the of spot, I'm just going to leave an X. 80% of what number is 16? So there's my keyword is, and there's a numerical value next to it of 16. So the 16 is going to go in the is spot. So here's our equation all set up. 16 over x equals 80 over 100. So what's next? Well, I'm going to multiply my two known diagonal values, so 16 and 100. So 16 times 100 equals 1,600. And then I divide by what? Well, my last known value that I haven't touched yet. So in this case, it's 80. So 1,600 divided by 80 equals 20. Now I need to decide whether my 20 is a percent or a whole number. Well, looking back at the beginning of the problem, the question asked what number, and my blank was in the of spot, so I know that it's going to be a whole number. So I'm just going to leave it as a 20, and I'm not going to turn it into a percent for my answer. This formula is really handy to memorize and keep close, as it will treat you well through most missing value percent questions that you will encounter. Hey, thanks for stopping by and learning something new today. If you would like to talk more in depth about the subject or would like some extra help with the concept, stop by the Tutoring Center at San Juan College for some one-on-one time with a math tutor. Don't forget to subscribe to the Student Success Center's YouTube channel for some more math help videos and other general tutorial videos. See you next time!